Welcome. This is a quick recording on how to do the bar graph for the free fall lab. And so we are going to do a bar graph for just the drop height time for 12 meters. So just this last column of the data table. I'm going to highlight it in blue while we're talking so that we can focus in on it. So I'm just going to put in some numbers here. I'm not sure what the numbers are. These are just made up. And so 0.15 seconds, 0.5 seconds, 3 seconds, and so forth. So I'll just do the top 3. And so I want to go down and create the bar graph. So let me write these down so I remember. 0.15. 0.5 and 3 seconds. And so I'm going to scroll down to where the graph is on the lab. Here we are. And you can see the 5 objects across the bottom. So I want to create a bar graph, and it says on my data table that from a drop height of 12 meters, the shuttlecock took 0.15 seconds. And so that's something really small at the bottom. So 0.5 is here, 0.15 is probably right here. So I need to put my bar above the shuttlecock at 0.15. So I'm going to go up to Insert, Shapes. I'm going to grab a rectangle. If you want to do 3-dimensional rectangles, make your bar graph fancy, you could choose one of these down here. I'm just going to do a basic rectangle. This one here is a prism. That will give you kind of the 3D shape if you want to do that on your bar graph. I'm going to choose a regular rectangle. And I'm going to make a really small one that looks like it's about 0.15. And there we go, and that's it. You can change the color, so maybe I'll make it orange. And then you want to move to the next one. So my data table says the cotton ball took 0.5 seconds to drop. And so 0.5 is up at that first, actually, no, it's not. It's in the middle of the first one down here. Is 0.5 seconds. And so again, a really small one, this one probably should be a little bit smaller, 0.15. You won't have numbers this small, I don't believe. So you can either copy and paste that rectangle, that's what I'll do, or you could create another one, Insert Shapes, and this one goes to 0.15, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. And you just want to keep going across. So how long did it take for the tennis ball to drop? So again, I'm going to paste another bar, copy and paste it, and this time I have 3 seconds in my data table, so I lifted it up to right about here. That first line is 5 seconds, or no, that first line is 0.5. That's why it looks weird. So I'm going to insert a point here, and then on the actual lab itself, I'll revise it so you could see. But this should be a 0.5. No wonder why I was getting a little confused there. And so this first bar is supposed to be at 0.1, so that looks good. The second one is supposed to be at 0.5, so I'm going to lift that further. The third one is at 3 seconds, and so that should be all the way up here. And you would just keep going across. So you want to create your bars and go across and make sure they go as high as however long it took for the drop from 12 meters. And so again, you could go to Insert, Shapes, and choose the rectangle. I'll share with you here, this time I'll choose the 3-dimensional cube or prism here. I could draw that. And so now it kind of looks more like a bar that you see in a bar graph. I'm going to put that for the rock, and I'll just pretend the rock took 3.5 seconds to fall or something like that. So again, you could see the difference. Either way is fine, but you want to create a bar for each of those objects. Again, you're just going to use this last column of the data table, the drop from 12 meters. And that's it. If you have any questions about creating your graph, please let me know.